Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Now, what shall we talk about?
Hello, my friends, and welcome. This is Brian the Speaker coming to you with a new video. Now, this is going to be something of an update video and something of a catch-up video because a lot's been going on, and I promised a bunch of videos this week while I was going to be off work, and I wanted to explain what happened and why that did not take place the way it was supposed to last week. So I got home a day later than normal. Tuesday I had a day off, and then Wednesday found out that both my parents had come down with COVID. Now, my parents are in their 70s, and my mom has had extremely bad asthma most of her life. So I spent most of the week up there at their house. They live about 30 miles north of me. At their house, taking care of them, swapping back and forth with my brother, so that there was somebody there to help take care of them. They've been vaccinated, so that's really great that helped. Mom has been extremely ill with this, much more so than my dad. And I just ask for your thoughts and prayers to be with my family and my parents. They are doing better now, so I am preparing to get ready to go back out on the road tomorrow. So once again, if I do videos, they will be coming to you from the road. But I just wanted you guys to be aware of what had happened last week and why I did not keep my promise to make as many videos as I was planning. Life gets in the way, and you just have to do what you have to do. But when it comes to family, that always comes first, especially with my elderly parents who needed the help. Anyway, so let's move on to a slightly happier subject. And by happier, I mean awful in a completely different way.
Oh, shit.
So this last week, we became aware, thanks to news services and the company in question, that a terrible tragedy had ensued, and that a marginalized group of people were not being spoken to, were not being represented, and in the worst way possible, this omission needed to be corrected. And thank goodness to the Mars Candy Company, who took it in stride to right this wrong.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
By giving us new M&Ms, spokespeople, cartoon characters, whatever they're supposed to be. I thought they were candy. I mean, I'm 47 years old, so I thought they were candy. I mean, I thought, they melt in your mouth, not in your hand, which is a lie. They melt in your hand a lot. Especially if you're a little like I was, and you just loved running around, holding on to the candy, waiting for the perfect time to eat it, which was usually after your hand had little yellow, blue, brown, and green circles all over it. So anyway, but thank goodness that this Travis Schumachery has been righted by the Mars Candy Company, who actually creates M&Ms. Now, this is the primary change was Mrs. Green. I don't know what her name is. I shouldn't say Mrs. Miss Z, because you can't say here, her. This thing was being drastically and horribly masculinized in a way that is just so terrible. She had go-go boots on, and that was just way too feminine for a feminine M&M character. How dare you? Yeah, so this is what the Mars Candy Company has been concerned with. Not COVID, not the things going wrong in our world, just people needed to see different characters in their candy because somebody was being left out of the M&M group. This is just, it's painful. But now I mean, I read the article and it just made me want to cry. So I stopped reading the article. And I was going to try and read it to you, but I didn't want all that vomiting that would ensue by hearing some idiotic marketing person trying to explain how this saves humanity. Because obviously it does. Why else would they do this? Because, I mean, if I don't see myself in the candy I'm about to eat, what's the point of eating it? None. None. I mean, when I eat a whatchamacallit, which is my favorite candy bar, I get a little scalpel, a little X-Acto knife, and I carve a perfect representation of my face into it because, heaven forbid, I not feel like that candy represents me. Oh, God. So my question is this: which M&M? And this is a discussion I was having with Black Angus over Twitter. I like Black Angus. He's a friend of mine and a fellow YouTuber, and we were talking back and forth, and I said, well, which one of the M&Ms takes it in the butt? It's got to be the brown one, right? Or is that stereotyping? Oh no, I wouldn't want to do that.
What a bunch of hippy-dippy baloney.
And which one of these M&Ms used to be a woman that's now a man? I'm guessing the yellow one. He's got the deepest voice, and we got to make sure that there's nothing feminine about him, her, he, she. And now, so I mean, I really just. Was candy sales to the LGBTQI plus AZLFMO group just not high enough? Did they figure that their sales were lagging in that community? Because oddly enough, I think children are eating more of these than anything else. You know, back in the days when I was something of a rebel and I smoked, I can't tell you how little Joe Camel had to do with that decision. But they took him away anyway because he inspired children to smoke. No, he didn't. He was just a drawing of a camel that had been humanized to look like he could smoke. And really,
how can you be deaf with ears like that?
What do these companies think? That we look at their spokespeople or we look at their product, and if we don't see that it's marketed exactly, specifically, and pointedly at us, I'm just not going to use it. Why? If it's a good product, of course I'm going to use it. If it's something I need, then I'm going to use it. Whether I see myself in the spokesman or not. I mean, I see nothing of myself in Brie Larson, and yet I've owned a Nissan. She's their new spokesman. I don't know that I'll ever own a Nissan again now that they've used her as a spokeswoman, whatever, human. Because because I mean, who knows? Nissan, maybe it wasn't made for me.
It wasn't made for him.
So thanks for that, Nissan. Anyway, I thought this was an interesting thing that was going on in our lives. And by interesting, I mean asininely stupid. But there you go. More evidence that our civilization is almost over. I have to say, there was one bright piece of bright spot in my week last week. There was not going to be any more horrible Expanse episodes to ruin that franchise for me. It's over. So they can't ruin it any more than they've already tried. I mean, I'm sure they're going to try some more with a different series or something, but I don't have to be there for it. And who knows how long it'll take them to do that. So that was a bright spot in my week. For a guy who loves The Expanse, loves the books, loved the first 4 seasons of the TV show, it's sad that I used to be happy when it was coming, and now I'm just glad it's over. But you got to take your happiness where you can get it, right? Right. The other thing was I watched the latest episode of the the Book of Boba Fett.
No! No!
Which, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about it, so you better go watch it before you finish watching this. It was awful. It was terrible. It was more dark filming, so that the only thing of Boba you could see and whoever else was with him, I don't know, because all I could see was shadows moving in the dark. I mean, these people are terrible. Who taught these directors to film this way in the dark? You have to have a light source. Now, somebody else made this comment about, which I thought was funny. I'd made a video about this, and then somebody else made a video talking about the exact same thing, about the fact that the lighting levels for the dark film sequences are terrible. You can barely see anything. If you have any light in the room that you're in, just don't even watch it, because you won't be able to see anything that's going on. It's pointless. You'll hear a bunch of sounds of things happening and people getting punched and stuff, and you'll think, ooh, that probably looks cool. I wish I could see it. Anyway, and it's just going downhill fast. My brother made a comment, my younger brother, who's been watching this show same way I have, and he said the same thing, that the only way I think you could watch this and actually enjoy it is if you were 10. Now, I would say not even then. You would have to be a very mind-numb 10-year-old to be entertained by this, because it's not funny, it's not exciting, it's not good, it's just stupid. And I've already talked about this on other shows, so I'm not going to retread old ground, thank goodness, because quite honestly, who wants to do that again? But seriously, it is just, I'm watching more now just to see how bad it can get, and really viewing it more as a comedy at this point. A spoof on Boba Fett, like a Monty Python, a very poorly done Monty Python skit about what the Mandalorian might have done in an alternate universe where he's completely retarded. Yeah, so that's the only way to watch this show. It's like Star Trek. You have to pretty much do the same thing. If you want to watch Star Trek Discovery or Picard, just pretend everybody in this universe is retarded. It's a mirror retarded universe. And yes, I said retarded because, you know what, there's no other way to describe that. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but I'm not saying it to be offensive, except for the people who created this show, and I really don't care if they're offended, because they're stupid. Or, as I like to say, retarded. Anyway, thanks for watching this. I am looking forward to doing more videos. I will be doing some videos on the road this next week. I am going to be doing a live stream. I don't know exactly what day. I'm not sure how my schedule is going to work out while I'm on the road. It will be in the evening, one of the nights when I get stopped fairly early. I'm hoping Wednesday or Thursday. So look for that to be popping up in your feeds and on your Twitter, and hopefully you'll be able to see when that happens. We are going to be talking anime, and I am going to be talking about the anime series called Claymore. Now, this is a series that I wasn't very familiar with, but honestly, if everyone in Hollywood who thinks they understand how feminine heroes are created and done should be forced to sit down, have their eyeballs taped open and their ears completely opened up and not be able to talk or say anything or look away from the screen, kind of like the torture that they did to Nicolas Cage in the movie Next. I think that would be appropriate, because they shouldn't be able to talk, look away, or hear anything other than this show if they're going to write female characters that are badasses, because this show does it in epic fashion. It is very good. So if you are interested, go and watch that, binge watch it. It's on Hulu, I believe, and also on Funimation, I think. And you can go and watch that and be prepared to talk about it when I do my pop-up stream. It's going to be great, because it is a great show. And seriously, this is how you make female characters badasses. And there's a slew of them, and it's done well, and the explanation makes sense. It's just great. This is how you do that. Brie Larson should be forced to sit down and watch this over and over and over again until she gets all the stupid out of her head. So possibly years. Anyway, thanks for watching this, and we will talk to you next time. As I've asked before, please pray for my parents and anybody who out there who has COVID. But the odd thing is, I still went and took care of my parents. I did not wear a mask because I'm not afraid of my parents. And if I get this, I get this. You know what? I'll put it in the Lord's hands, and I'll let him deal with what comes. I'm just going to keep living my life because I don't want to live in fear.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me.
Fear is not something that I'm going to take into my heart and walk around with every day, unlike what the government would like us to do. So anyway, but they did everything they were supposed to do and still got it. So please pray for them and pray for people who are out there suffering and struggling. There's a lot of us, thanks to the people who run our country on the right and the left. They're both retarded. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye now.